Do you want to play as a nation that has a ton of resources, but pretty much nothing else going on for it, such that it is a bit of a challenge? Do you like long walks in the tundra with the ice crunching beneath your feet? Do your children yearn for the mines? Then Perm might be the nation for you. You need to start as Russia in order to play Perm. You click Start as Russia, and then you go into the Diplomacy tab. You click Release Subject tab, you scroll down, and then you find the big thick Perm releasing 8 states to play as Perm. In this video, we will be doing a nation spotlight for Perm, covering the pros, cons of playing as them. We will also be going with some expansion ideas, both from an RP perspective and from effective playstyle perspective. And at the very end, we will be offering 3 non-paradox approved achievements you can get as Perm. And so here we go. Let's jump. The pros of playing Perm are threefold. First of all, if you don't like clicking buttons and you only like using one tab, you just need to have the resource tab open, and this is it. You just absolutely blast mines as Perm. You start off with over 200 coal mines available, over 200 iron mines available, a decent amount of lead mines, and logging camp with some significant bonuses. You notably also get the bonus for throughput on your iron mines in both Perm and your raw, and you will also have discoverable 60 oil in Perm. The second bonus, or particularly advantageous thing, is if you want the children to go in the mines, you do start out with child labor allowed. You do not have to push for this in the early game, which is also big nice. And finally, third, as a result of your culture group, you sometimes get names which are consistent with the playstyle that you would like. You start as the Ugrian culture, which in the case of recruiting generals, often you will roll people who have a specific name in mind. In this case, Ivan Minen, which will greatly help you in your playstyle of just sending the children to the mines, focusing on the mines. You only care about being covered in coal and trudging through the snow. The cons of playing Perm are actually quite numerous, which is what makes it one of the more fun plays to do. You know, you could start out as Russia and have all the advantages of Perm, but if you want more of a challenge, you can play as Perm. So, first of all, while you might love those long walks on the tundra, the arable land is not very good in Perm. Shocker. Secondly, with the exception of course, child labor allowed, your starting laws you inherit from Russia, and you don't have very good starting laws. Third, and this is perhaps kind of one of the stranger ones, you start out unrecognized, so eventually you will have to declare a recognition war. You will not be able to deficit spend very effectively. This means you can't deficit spend to build mines, which is awful, but this is another pretty significant one. Third, you start out with kind of an okay amount of population, but not an enormous amount of population. This is why you need the children working the mines. Somebody's got to do it, and on the front of culture, while you do get absolute banger generals like our dear Ivan Minen available to you as a result of your culture having your culture's names, you do not have access to really good migration early because you discriminated against Russian and Siberian, so you will have to come off of national supremacy in order to get some migration to solve the population problem. The themes for an RP style playthrough should be fairly obvious by now, and there's 3: ice, mining, and child labor. So pick up your pickaxe and proceed to spread your joys of child labor to everyone. Just take everything north of the wall that has a mine. And I know what you might be thinking. Wall? There's no walls in Victoria 3. This isn't Game of Thrones. What are you talking about? There's a wall. Everything that has a mine that's north of the wall, take it and put children in it. Okay, so what does this mean? This means Siberia, this means Canada, this means Europe, although this will be tricky, so just start with Scandinavia. And this should be fairly good. It's not winter that's coming, the miners are coming. Okay, for a bit more of a measured and analytical kind of expansion idea, there's a few things that you're going to want to go for. In regards to diplomacy, you're probably going to want to be inside someone's customs union. That way you can focus on building up the mine specifically and abuse economies of scale and build up really tall. You'll probably want to also put down a decree for encourage resource industry and maybe an encourage manufacturing in Tobolsk. As far as what you are actually taking early on, some good spots are Montenegro, which is actually a little bit of a weird good spot, but it's right adjacent to Austria, which will allow you to do a lot of trade volume with Austria, which will kind of further your goal if you want to get into Austria's customs union. Getting into Great Britain's customs union is also good. Same with Russia. Also, a nice place to take is Brunei, because Brunei has gold mines, and they notably also has sulfur, which is something you don't have a mine for. And then finally, South Africa is always a good expansion spot because, again, they have gold, and of course they have more of our favorite mines, although less on the ice, so maybe not as good. But I also have an extended kind of starting steps video that's a little bit more in depth in regards to Perm. If you want to check that out, it will be in the description. Next up, we have the non-paradox approved achievements. If you get one of these, you've earned yourself the right to buy yourself a candy bar or some other commensurate treat. No, you do not get one for free. You've just earned yourself the right to buy yourself one. You can also take a hike, preferably through the tundra or the snow. Walking's good for your health. It'll make you feel better, especially after having all these children work in these mines all this time. So, for the first achievement, we have the Children Yearn for the Mines. This is an easy achievement. All you have to do is expand all the mines in Ural and Perm and have them fully employed by children and profitable with the Encourage Resource Industry Edict active. You also need to have child labor active for the duration of the entire run, but you can drop the edicts as needed. Second of all, or second achievement, we have a medium achievement of this should pan out, and all you have to do is own over 50 gold mines. That's over 50, not 50. There are some other requirements in there. You can read through them as you like, but they're relatively minor if you catch my drift. The third achievement we have is Miners Are Coming, and this is a hard achievement. In order to achieve Miners Are Coming, you need to occupy every non-European province with a mineable resource north of the Great Wall, or roughly 45 degrees latitude, and also in Europe conquer all of Scandinavia. Once you do this, you march your death army and, discipline of minor children into the south as you'd like. So this has been the Nation Spotlight for Perm. If you achieved any of the achievements and you want to share, you can always post them in the Discord in the achievements section. The link to the Discord will be included in the description of this video. If you like this video, feel free to do all the YouTube algorithm stuff. It does help out. This is like, comment, share, subscribe, click the bell, etc. Mostly, and I want to emphasize this as much as possible, mostly, etc. Also, the topic of child labor seemed to, for whatever reason, come up quite a lot in this video. I just want to emphasize that I do not approve of child labor in the real world, just satirically referencing it in Victoria 3 for the purpose of both, I guess, satirizing it and, highlighting it as something that's horrific in a way that's kind of a dark humor sort of way, and also, etc. Have a good one.